Hello everyone on the internet, and thanks for tuning in. I'm RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku.
And welcome to another episode of Toku Bros. I'm your co-host, the Winter Cosplayer, and this is Rider Talk.
Kingu Lion Daisenki. Don't bring that same prop out every week. It takes me time to do original intro every week. You bring out the same paper towel roll.
Yeah, well, I like that form, right? And you butcher it. But anyway, thank you for joining us, guys, for another week of Toku Bros. My dear cohort has butchered the song or tune or theme to King Lion Daisenki.
Sound effects.
Which we will be talking about later on. But first, a couple of weekly news updates. So starting off with, we got a little bit of the actor who played Phillip from Kamen Rider Double.
Fang! Joker! See, I threw another bonus one at you. Go on.
Why Fang? Can't you just do the normal cyclone?
No.
Yes.
No. Right, get on with it.
Right, anywho, Suda Masaki will be playing he'll be a lead actor in a film called Character, where he will be playing an up-and-coming manga artist and somewhat collaborating with a prisoner of sorts, I believe, or a criminal. Now, there's not real much detail in that. However, all we know so far is that he will be working with the producers of 20th Century Boys and Master Keaton, and this will be releasing in a character. The title will be releasing in June next year.
Right, I've got to jump in on that right straight away. So you mentioned 20th Century Boys. That is the name of the group that I've been mentioning for the last several weeks and forgot their name. It's the guy who dresses in white in Saber, and Lupin Red are also members of 20th Century Boys, if I'm not mistaken. When it comes to Phillip from Kamen Rider Double, we know he's he's really done fairly well in his career post Kamen Rider Double. I mean, there are a few sections, there are a few main riders that have gone on to do really well after appearing in Kamen Rider. And Phillip from Double specifically is one of them. So I don't know if I'll get to see it. I mean, maybe I'll look for a trailer or something. But obviously, it's always a blessing when we see anyone from the Kamen Rider production do well in other productions, and that is absolutely amazing, especially in this time of coming out of COVID, etc.
I mean, agreed. I mean, that's like saying and I'm just going to use the US Power Rangers as an example. Like, take RPM, for instance. You have the yellow RPM Ranger. And
Red from RPM and SPD have also, they've done somewhat well, at least. Like, they've at least managed to establish a career outside of what they've appeared in.
Yeah, I mean, Rose McIver's the lead actress of iZombie, for one.
Sure. But it's always good to hear anyone from the tokusatsu world, full stop, doing well post appearance in tokusatsu, and even better when they come back. Dunno. So moving on, we are going to talk about a certain figure art release from Kamen Rider Saber, namely Kamen Rider Espada. Now, we have seen Kamen Rider Espada revealed during Tamashii Nation's 2020 event that we covered about 2 months ago, I think now. And so, the one thing I'll say is I feel this is quite rushed, that they've literally just, boom, announced Kamen Rider Espada. And we've got
Why would you say rushed?
Because normally when it comes to these pre-orders, they'll normally have 3 to 5 months. So for example, I pre-ordered Kamen Rider Black Seiho release, and that's going to be released in April. I pre-ordered Kamen Rider Sabers, both Brave Dragon and Blades, and again they're going to be released in February and March, I believe. Yet, they have announced Kamen Rider Espada's figure arts to be released specifically on December the 18th, and that's literally a couple of weeks' time. Well, actually, I think it's next week, isn't it? Yeah. So again, it's just such a short release. I've not even said a price, but December the 18th, they have got like there's a few things going on in terms of cinema releases. So it will be quite cool, the fact that they've got this figure art release on the same day as that. And yet, they've still not announced a price, but we have had some closer looks at the figure. So the one thing that, even though I'm not planning on buying this, the one thing that does excite me for potential future releases is that they have actually included a soft cape with Espada, which I have seen certain Seiho releases with the soft cape, namely Kamen Rider Wizard, which is an amazing figure, by the way. But when it comes to the regular, even the web exclusives, like for example, Kronos was a web exclusive. He had like a hard coat, cape, skirt kind of, inclusion with that. So the fact that they have listened to people's discontent with that kind of hard plastic, the fact that he's got like this really nice shade in his cape, as well as like the actual accessories that he comes with, I think will actually be quite a concise release for Kamen Rider Espada.
Honestly, when I first saw it, all I got was a very meh kind of, or like, it was alright kind of opinion. And what I mean by that is, and I keep going back and forth on the Rider Kicks figure, so the main line, if you will, for the series of figures. And the only added paint or detailing is that on the belt, the sword, and where it's yellow on the chest and the cape is actually gold. Great, fine. But that's it, honestly. Like, I have read a little bit more in depth that it does come with and the belt also has a bit more coloring detail, fair enough, but it does come with the sword. It also has the sword in the belt form, as well as the belt without the sword. So you have those accessories as well. To me, like you said, it does for one feel rushed, that it feels like, they want to get this out before the Christmas, or while the Christmas rush there is.
I'm not sure if it's specifically in relation to a Christmas rush, but yeah, carry on.
Of all the figures they could have like pushed, like you said, it feels weird that they go for this one as opposed to the other two main riders, or actual main riders.
To be fair, I wasn't specifically pointing out the fact that it was Espada as opposed to Brave Dragon or Blades. It was just the fact that, again, it's not even 2 weeks. Like, maybe if we consider, like, the week just gone, 3 weeks. Whereas, again, normally we've got, like, 3 to 5 months when they announce. So, and but to actually also disagree with you, I actually do think aside from the cape that I've mentioned, like obviously when it comes to these promo images, they're always going to make a figure look its best. So I look at this, and obviously with this whole Lambda Allergena that he's going for, it's going to be sparkly. So looking at the images, I get like this really nice gold vibe, like this gold sort of sparkle, which does kind of add like a nice glittery feel to it. But again, it'll be good to see what other people think of this figure arts release.
I want to see what the SH figure art form of his 3-book form would look like.
Oh, the Wonder Ride combo. I mean, again, like we've not had any, as far as I recollect, there's no announcements of the Wonder Ride combos being released as figure arts, but I'm sure we'll see that at some point. Although I'm pretty sure we did. I think they did announce Crimson Dragon and Dragonic Knight, but again, I'd say let's just see how this release goes, especially being released so quickly.
And when we get news, you guys will be the first to know.
Absolutely. So let's rock on to so talking about Lambda Allergena, let's rock on to episode 14. I'm gonna kick off first. Admittedly, I feel like I should say this was a good episode, but admittedly, I got lost in the really extensive fight scenes, as there was a lot in this episode, and I barely kept up, and will probably forget the mechanics of the fight scenes by the end of today.
Like you said, it just felt like one long fight sequence mixed with the word busy in it.
I mean, to give them their credit, like they would kind of do these group fight scenes, they'll do these brawl scenes, but then they'll do these one-on-one fight scenes. Like, I think I will talk about the one between Slash and the other guy who managed to duplicate himself. I'll talk about that in a moment. But for some odd reason, the villain, like just to crit the CGI and green screening some more. For some odd reason, the villain HQ scenes are still green screened, even though they are brief in the intro. I will still say that nothing else in this episode seems to be green screen apart from the major CGI scenes in the last several episodes. So I am finally beginning to think that this is more of a location access issue that could possibly be related to COVID, as opposed to a filming restriction directly related to COVID, because it just seems a bit off that it's just those villain HQ scenes that you really see the lighting on the characters are really different to the environment they're in their HQ.
I mean, for me, when it comes to the villains themselves, I mean, I've already spoken ad nauseum of how I feel about the villains. Like, two of them are right odds idiots. They can't stop whining, ranting, oh, I'm going to be the strongest, blah, blah, blah. And then you've got your silent, conniving one as well. I can't get my head around, or I can't put myself behind the villains as such.
No, I mean, I'll say they've got these really unique personalities, so I'll contradict you that I can get behind them, even though it seems very brief. Like, you've got and again, it also seems trope and cliche that you've got the giggling psychotic one, you've got the sort of laughing but not psychotic, but he's got that glint in his eye guy, and then you've got the guy who's just out for an all-out brawl, mainly the guy with the red face. But to actually talk about some of the mechanics to the intro of the episode before we move on, two things I really don't remember from the previous episode, right, is one, there was all this talk about the flame from Dragonic Night engulfing the Book of Truth in the Sky, which actually becomes a big thing in this episode. And then secondly, I do remember Dragonic Night winning the fight from the previous episode. But the fact that they really considered Zhao Dragon truly defeated without any solid proof did flummox me a little bit. Mainly because we all saw his sword anyway. And, I do actually feel that they will eventually bring back an evil Kento. And I'm actually miffed why they didn't do that specifically in this episode. But maybe they are giving the character a rest and he will surely be back soon.
What, you mean COVID restrictions? So he has to take
no,
2 week break?
No. I mean, because bear in mind we've had some very Kento heavy episodes. Yes. They're just giving him a rest, and he'll be back. He'll be super evil, and that's and if I've predicted this, then that makes this predictable. But Rider at its best is not predictable, so hopefully we'll see something with just a little bit more of a twist than what I've predicted.
Action without narrative is just loud noise. And this is literally a lot of action with no narrative. So it just ended up with being a lot of smack, smack, smack. And, oh, look, we just swap some books around. Here, you use this. You use this. Okay. We'll honor Kento's memory. Here, you can use his book. You can use his book. I will use this book. Well, it was nice that they, mixed the books around the letter. I'm not going to deny that. The only good thing about the episode, which we'll get to in a minute, is the last few minutes.
I mean, all right, I am actually going to come to talk about this now anyway. So to elaborate on the fight scenes, which you've literally just done as well, I actually do liked how they swapped with each other's books. It kind of adds a little bit of a sort of camaraderie, sort of it shows their skill kind of thing and their knowledge of the books, the Wonder Ride books, if you will. And, again, I mentioned the whole clone the whole clone cliche, which, it's in Rider lore, it's in Sentai lore, it's in Tokusatsu lore. So they dealt with this very slyly, and it's you see, I thought it was quite fun to see Slash copying. So it was fighting fire with fire, and I did like that. And then, for me, before we talk about, you already mentioned the end, I'll say prior to that, it was about Dragon Alangina. Mainly because I like how he had this alternative 2-volume form look without resorting back to Dragon Knight to fight Jao Dragon, because that seems to be something that people complain about, is when they get a new power up that's really powerful, they'll just keep going to that straight away. So we don't actually see Dragonic Knight make an appearance in this episode. But the clincher, so I'm going to jump to this. The clincher, though, is always going to be King Lion Daisenki. To refer to Rider News a few weeks back, the Sodo multiform figure actually now makes a lot more sense. And, you know...
I called it.
Right.
I called
it. I mean, again, it was a maybe thing, if I remember correctly. But, you know, to talk about some other lighter aspects, I do like this punch card reader he has on his arm, because both Dragonic Knight... Because both Dragonic Knight and King Lion Daisenki, they seem to have these, like, arm attachments, which to me smacks of Ryuki.
Yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, like I didn't point it out last week, but I am pointing it out now. And I do, I just have to think where I have seen, like coming to King Lion Daisenki, I've got to think of where I have seen this animal transformer style transformation in previous Rider, and I'm sure there are plenty of examples. But it is a crazy note to end on. But the preview for the next episode seems to be an origin story, so we might not even see the resolve of King Lion Daisenki flying away straight away. Maybe not even until after New Year.
I love Blades' King Lion Daisenki form. I love how it has the subtle, almost like Blastoise's Hydro Pump cannons coming off the shoulders.
See, he was I didn't talk about the look, but just to wrap it up in half a sentence, I'll say as I mentioned last week, he looked very sparkly, metallic, shiny, and he had that going on. But then, the details are good, the helmet is sparkly, but the body, everything neck down is very busy. So if you're noticing Blastoise Hydro Pumps on him, that's more than what I noticed.
Well, not just that, but also when he gets to... I love the simplicity of it as well, but more bolder and blue.
I wouldn't call it simple, though. You're calling it simplicity. I wouldn't. I mean, the colour is somewhat simplistic. But the actual... it's quite a busy form, in my opinion.
When they were researching the books into this bigger book form, they didn't use 3 books of his.
They used quite a few. They used quite a few.
4.
I did... Okay, with King Arthur.
Yes. That, for me, was the most interesting part. I did not expect that.
It felt like they were using more than 4. Are you sure it was only 4? Okay.
The Daisenki...
No, because you had Braid's Wonder Ride combo with King Arthur.
Yes.
Alright.
So it's Daisenki, Peter Fantasista, Tenku of Pegasus, or Heavenly Pegasus, and King Arthur.
Alright.
So I found that interesting. Furthermore, when he turned to the lion form, and I still love how they execute that, because it's not often we see a rider turning... I mean, we've seen rider turning to a bike, but I can't remember the last time we saw
that was
rider turning...
You and X-Aid. What is it with you and your X-Aid references? Anyway.
Well, no. Also,
Axel as well. I think there's... Alright, I'll give you that.
If anything... I want to see Kenzan actually get a 3-book Wonder Ride.
So I've been hyping Kenzan for ages, and now you're wanting to see something. No, I also would like to see more from Kenzan. So
no, not just about story, but his Wonder Ride combo, because we've got
this is it. We've only got 3 Wonder Ride combos. So and this is the thing. Buster doesn't have the belt with the books going on it. He just has it. But then again, so does Kenzan. So. If I'm even as much as I've said that I like Kenzan, and just to end on this, as much as I say that I like Kenzan, when you look at Kenzan Ryo, and when you look at Kenzan, Buster, and Slash's system, it's not the same as the other 3 where they can put 3 books into their belt. So I very much doubt we'll get a Wonder Ride combo. As much as I love Kenzan,
no? Do you think we will?
I don't think we will. As much as I love Kenzan, I don't think we will. So I'll end it on that very sad note. So thank you all for watching. I will let you all check us out on the social medias, maybe if I get my scholar in the right order. So let's see. So you got my boy, the Winter Cosplayer. He is obviously on Facebook, Instagram, and the Discord. And then you got ourselves. the Toku Bros. We are on Facebook, Instagram. We've got our Discord group, which you can all jump on. Reddit, as well as this very YouTube channel, and Twitter at Toku Bros 71. And finally, myself, RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku. You can find me on all the social media, so Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, Discord, Reddit, my YouTube channel with Toku Unboxing Series 3, just about at the halfway mark, as well as Twitter and my URL, ryukivatoku.wordpress.com. So thank you all for watching. Hope you have genuinely enjoyed this. We hope to see you again next time. And yeah, obviously Christmas, so like our episodes might be sporadic. But as always, fist through the cam.
Fist through the cam.
See you next time.